The rain had slimmed to a drizzle as Gaitonde tapped his baton on the logwood shack of the cemetery and got no response. Then he climbed the iron staircase to the elevated graveyard where he spotted Jason and waved. A drenched Jason waved back and rushed toward him. They walked past the gravestones under Gaitonde's large black umbrella. Why is this on such a height? To respect the dead. They should also be on a pedestal, no? This is my share of land. I didn't want any buildings and shit and hospitals and shit. If we only eat and live, who will defecate and die? Kaitonde nodded. I have some pretty similar thoughts on marriages and family. So is this good business? Someone's always dying, so yes, very good. You can't stop death. Any deaths in the last 4 days? What do you mean? How many bodies have you buried in the last 4 days? Unfortunately, just two. One stinking drunk and one roadkill, crushed like a deer under truck tires. Did you bury them yourself? Where? Of course. Why will I give that privilege to anyone? Jason looked at Gaitonde with amazement and pointed in two directions, far across the other mounds and crosses. I washed them with disinfectant, massaged their limbs to relieve all those stiffening joints and muscles, and do the necessary shaving. You won't believe how some people never shave their whole lives. It's a mulberry bush down there and up in the armpits. Fire, fire in the mountains. The best is sewing their lower jaws in place, trying for an eternal smile on their sad, morose faces. I paint on the cosmetics too. In some life, I'm damn sure I would have been a makeup artist. Okay. Why haven't you gone home for long to Burgundy House? To the business of living? Because the business of dying keeps me busy. Did you know after a few days it's not ghosts but white energy leaving from the graves like CO2, sulfur, freon, benzene, carbon tetrachloride evaporating from their flesh? Where were you on the night your brother was shot? He was shot? If he were to die, the casket would have to be one of ivory no less. Is he fine now? Yes. His knee's gone. Maybe he will never walk again. Jason nodded as if this was new information for him. Sad. I always sleep here. Sometimes I hear whispers. The dead are not really dead. They talk. Jason peered into Gaitonde's wet face. Did you know there's life after death and only more death in life? We are all half dead and half alive. When we are born, we are already 1% dead, and by the time of our deaths, only 1% alive. Inspector Gaitonde blinked at this nonsensical sense. His head was suddenly aching for some noon chai. Where did you sleep on the night of your brother Pedro's shootout? On the bench in my cabin. I always sleep there, shootout or no shootout. Any witnesses? They. Jason pointed to the graves. Gaitonde walked the length of the graveyard and back as Jason watched him. The dead didn't even whisper to him. But they can't talk. Not to you. Okay. Show me the death certificates of the last two burials. They headed to the logwood shack, squishing their feet in the muck. In the musty smelling shack were a bare wooden table, a stuffed filing cabinet, and 3 cane chairs. Jason plucked out 2 graveyard record entry forms of the recently dead and showed them to Gaitonde. Gaitonde read through and clicked pictures with his Panasonic digital camera. You might have to dig some graves. Jason's face lit up. How many? I can dig 15 in a day, you know. If there was a world record to be broken, it would be mine. No, not new ones, the same old ones. These 2, said Gaitonde. What? You don't trust me or something? I don't trust papers. Real evidence only. Jason's forehead grew with creases. Gaitonde noticed. He nodded, studying the pot-bellied cop. By all means, he said, his voice trailing off. They headed out to the pits as the rain stopped, as if holding her breath for the suspense of life-death jostling beneath the moist layers of mud. Jason and Gaitonde stood over the fresh gravestone as 2 grave diggers came along to dig. After they were done, and the coffin seen, the duo reached down and yanked open its lid. Gaitonde peered at the ashen face in the first coffin, stuffed with cotton in his facial orifices. The body had begun decomposing, but it wasn't Roderick's. The other grave was dug just as fervently by Jason this time, as if he was reverse engineering and double taking his joy of digging with renewed vigor. As he perspiringly opened the lid of the second coffin, it was revealed to Gaitonde that this too wasn't Roderick's. You could have given this job to them. Aren't you tired? Jason heaved heavily. As long as you are convinced. Gaitonde nodded. What's the name of this man? Jason checked the papers, tucked in his windsheeter pocket. Kumar. John Doe. What? That could mean anything or anybody. I'm not getting into this for now. But no matter how you dressed him up, I can see that his face was cracked up all over, like loose straps of a sandal. This was a murder. Was there a police FIR? An investigation? Any hospital records? No, because he's in the process of decomposing. Decomposition is the process when it sets in when? No. You have hidden the bullet to his skull that has gone right through his face and exited via his chin. This happens with a mochi cobbler when he wrongly sews a slipper's toe post to its footboard. The feet simply sit misaligned and crooked then. What? You think me to be a fool? Said Gaitonde. Jason's face lost its color as he froze in the drizzle. He realized that Gaitonde was no fool, even behind his fat, funny face. And Gaitonde walked away from the most beautiful graveyard he had ever seen in his life. Have you come across anyone who loves death in a funny way more than life? Who feels joyful about death in a philosophical sort of way? Now it's your chance to share anecdotes of funny characters you have come across your life in the comments below. I'm waiting to read. And me signing off from the DeCosta family.